Outside Health and Fitness Podcast, episode 122. Make better food choices with Ipiit.
A big goal for us is to start a dialogue between the brands and our users, a dialogue that is not only from the brands to the consumer. We want them to be able to have a two-way communication.
Welcome to the Outside Health and Fitness Podcast. We're getting outside the box, outside our comfort zone, and outside and in shape. If you're bored with the same old fitness routine at the gym and you're ready to try something new, then this is the show for you. We're exploring new and fun ways to get fit on the trail, on the water, on the slopes, and outside.
Hi, this is Steve Stearns from Outside Health and Fitness. Thanks for joining me for another episode. An important aspect of any health and fitness plan is food. And as I say, you can't outrun your fork. It's important to make sure you're giving your body the right nutrition. But it can be a real challenge at the grocery store to investigate labels and make good selections. If you're concerned with GMOs, gluten, or have food allergies, it becomes even more of a struggle. But stay tuned, because my guest today just solved all of that. She's developed a free app that turns your smartphone into your personal label detective. Type in your personal preferences, scan a product, and the app lets you know if it contains anything you're trying to avoid. Her name is Rosalie Schill, and her app is called Ipiit.
OutsideHealthandFitness.com.
Okay, Rosalie, I am so excited to have you on the show. I can't wait to talk to you about this app that you have brought to all of us.
Well, thank you. It's very exciting for me too to be on the show, and big thanks to you.
Yes, that's great. And we've hooked up internationally, right? Because you said you were in Sweden.
Yes, we're in Sweden right now, and the app actually only works in the United States because we only have product data for American products.
Interesting. Okay, and the app, the name of the app is Ipiit. Is that correct?
Yes, it's Ipiit the Food Ambassador.
Ipiit the Food Ambassador. Okay. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit? Maybe give us a little background on yourself, and then talk a little bit about how you came up with this idea for the app.
Yeah, I have a very variable background, but I ended up becoming an engineer. Product development engineer
Nice.
Quite a while ago now. And me and my partner went to Boston, actually, to a printed electronics conference before camera phones existed. And Nokia told us about this new fabulous little thing they would implement in the phones that were called NFC, which is the same technology you use when you open your car. But this is really, really close to two things. Instead of the car, you can open from way apart, but this would be like communication on close range.
Right.
And so we happened to be snowed in Boston, and so we ended up going to a convenience store instead of going out eating, because that seemed to be more convenient.
Yeah.
But what happened was, as a dyslexic and also allergic to things, I had to start reading all the ingredients list because all the products were new to me because we had just came there from Sweden. And so we ended up spending a long time, and that's kind of when this whole Ipiit thing was born. I said, I just wanted this tagging thing with a new NFC phone, and I could just go like blip, and it would say no nuts.
Right.
I'm allergic to nuts. So that's how it was born.
It's very cool. I actually downloaded a copy and played around with it a little bit, and there are some other apps that I've used that do some similar things, but one of the things I thought was really cool about your app is you can literally go in and tell it what you want to be wary of, like gluten or something, correct?
Yeah, we usually express it like you can choose what to exclude from your diet.
Yeah. As you're walking through the grocery store, you can scan the barcode, and then Ipiit immediately tells you, yep, this one's okay, or no, it's got gluten in it.
Exactly. And you can even click on the not for you little button, and then you will see if you have more than one preference or using or activated more than one preference, then you will see what preference or preferences that are triggering the not for you.
Oh, I see. Right. Excellent.
Yes.
Ipiit also gives you other options to try instead of the thing that you've selected.
Yes, and those alternative products are always made in the way that they will fit your preference choice.
That's fantastic. So how big is your database? You said it's right now it's just for foods in the United States.
That's right. Yes. At the moment we have about 280,000 products, all with ingredients. We think that's quite a good bunch of information, products, but still we need about as many more.
Yeah. And I noticed that when I tried the app, there was something that I scanned that wasn't in there. And the app said, hey, would you like to add this to the database? And then I took a couple of pictures of it, and it sends it right to you.
That's right. And we thank all our users because they send in a lot of information to us and many products. And that's one way for us to add more product information, of course. And then we have some, different other sources. We're collaborating right now with GS1. It's a standardization organization who has a pilot that we're working close with. It's a global standard that they're building, and it's about what's going to be behind the barcode for the brands and also what does companies like our company want and need for the future. It's been going on for quite a while, but it's still a little bit more, maybe another 6 months before everything is up and running, and then we have to get all the food brands on board as well. Some are involved as well already, but our hope is that that's going to give us more product data as well.
Excellent. Yeah, so they're going to be able to embed a lot of different data behind the barcode that you can then use to pass along through the Ipiit app.
Exactly. Or similar services that needs that type or other types of information.
Yeah. This is a very hot topic over here, probably is over there as well, but GMOs and things that have been genetically modified. Does the Ipiit app help people be aware that food that they're taking a look at or that they've scanned in there is genetic modification?
The GMO is one of our popular preferences, and we're working together with the non-GMO project, and we get all their verified products into our database, obviously. And it does help for everyone who is concerned about that. They just set the preference. And there are other standards and verification organizations for the GMOs, but we have chosen to work with the non-GMO project. So it won't always show all the products that are non-GMO, right, because they have been verified with some other organization.
Got it. Do you have any plans for the future in terms of restaurants? Is there any way to incorporate the Ipiit app with eating out?
We have so much to do in the retail stores, so we have chosen not to look into that at the moment because many other companies are doing it as well with the restaurants. So we will probably hold that off for a little longer. Yeah,
and really the biggest, I'm sure the biggest need, the people that are most interested in these sorts of things, the biggest need's got to be for your grocery shopping anyhow. So that's good.
I would say grocery shopping, and maybe if you have, if you're visiting someone and you and your family go to spend the night at your in-laws and they forgot to check the bread for gluten-free bread for you.
Right.
Then you can easily scan it. You can do it wherever, whenever you need to. But the most common place is, of course, in the grocery store.
Right. Now, I downloaded the Ipiit app on my iPhone. Is it available on other platforms as well?
Only iPhone and Android.
Yep.
But those are the two biggest ones. So, those two we have it available for. Yeah.
Excellent. So what other future things should we be looking for coming soon in the Ipiit app?
Well, in the app itself, we're working on a shopping list at the moment. First, we're going to build a basic shopping list, of course, but then in the next version of the shopping list, you will be able to share it with friends and family that needs to have your preference when they go shopping.
Excellent. That's very cool.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really, really helpful for our users.
The idea will be when you go into the grocery store and you scan an item and the item says, yep, that one's good for you, you can then add that to your shopping list so that next time you know which one to get.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
And then you can also share that shopping list with your wife or your husband, so it becomes easier for the one that doesn't shop as often.
Right, yep. And like you said, if you're going to go visit the in-laws for a week or something, you can send some of those preferences over if they're stocking up for your visit.
Exactly. And also what we're looking into right now and working on is we're making our alternatives even better. So the results in the alternatives will be better and better continuously.
Fabulous. Is there anything else that you want to share before we sign off, Rosalie?
Probably many things. Well, I want to share a little bit more in the future and maybe in the vision of Ipiit, since we call us the food ambassadors as well, not only Ipiit. A big goal for us is to start a dialogue between the brands and our users or people, everyone who eats food, actually. A dialogue that is not only from the brands to the consumer. We want them to be able to have a two-way communication. So, for example, let's say that Heinz is changing their recipe on the ketchup and you really love the old one. Then you can right away, through Ipiit, comment it to Heinz.
Nice.
And this way they will also know that, well, maybe you're the only one commenting on it, then it's not a big deal. But if you get a lot of feedback that is the same, then you know it's something to go back to the old recipe maybe.
Well, that is really powerful because I can imagine that these brand manufacturers would love to be able to have that sort of direct dialogue with their consumers in order to understand specifically what it is that the consumer wants in the product.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah, you can use that many ways, of course. Yeah. And that's what we're hoping, that we can start talking to the brands, not only be talked to.
Right. And I know that there's obviously a lot of people that would like to voice their concern too. You know, you see some brands that are starting to, what was the report I just saw the other day? It might have been Starbucks or somebody that has made this transition away from foods that are genetically modified, and it's taken them a long time to do that, but they're trying to respond to their consumers. So I could see that people would also really like to have that communication directly with the manufacturer.
Yes, absolutely. And it's not only good for the consumer or the user, it's very good and useful for the brands, because that way they will know what their users want, and then they can make better products, which is the ultimate goal, of course, that we want everyone to be able to have good quality food on their plates and tables. And also think that the transparency is a very, very good, important thing, especially in the food industry.
Yeah. How many users do you have of the app right now? Do you know?
We don't count downloads. We only count our users, and it's about 70,000.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's great. And I know we talked a minute ago, you said it's available on iTunes or for the iOS, and it's also available for Android. And I got mine through the iTunes App Store, and yes. I'm assuming that you could also get it through Google Play. Is that?
Absolutely, yes. And some other Android app stores not question marks, but that I actually don't know which ones exactly, but definitely Google Play.
Yeah. I'll definitely have a link in the show notes to the iTunes store and also to Google Play. And since I'm an iPhone user, I'm not all that familiar with some of the other Android platforms either. But if somebody out there has a favorite platform and they know that Ipiit is there, if they can let me know, I'll make sure to put that in the show notes too.
Super. And now you all know that I'm an iPhone user as well.
Yeah. Great. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, if they have ideas for the app or if they have questions or anything like that, how can they reach you?
The best way to reach me is to send me an email on support@ipiit.com. And Ipiit is the IPIIT.
Yep, that's great. Well, Rosalie, it was awesome having you on the show, and I love the app. I think it's a fantastic idea. I think the shopping list and also that direct dialogue with the brand manufacturers is very cool, too.
Great, thanks. It's great to hear, and thanks for having us.
So if you're concerned about what's in the food you're buying at the grocery store, the Ipiit app is for you. Stop by outsidehealthandfitness.com/122 for more information on the free Ipiit app, including links where you can download it for Apple or Android phones. And while you're there, be sure to sign up for the free weekly newsletter and stay up to date with more information on getting outside and in shape. Well, that wraps up another episode of the Outside Health and Fitness Podcast. I hope you got something of value from the show today that helps you get outside and in shape. For more on taking your health and fitness outside, visit outsidehealthandfitness.com and subscribe to the show. Until next time, I'll see you outside.